IVM.
Forming a good habit is one of the hardest things to do, especially when you don't know what goes into your favorite snacks. Did you know that your high-protein cookie only has 2 grams of protein per cookie? The whole truth is India's first and only food brand that declares every ingredient on the front of their packaging. So there's no need to turn the pack to find out what's in your food. They have some delicious protein bars, immunity balls, and a brand new range of vegan energy bars too. So enter the coupon code HABIT on checkout at thewholetruthfoods.com for 20% off and make eating right a part of your daily food habit. Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. Today's fun fact of the day has to do with film critics. Did you know that film critics started off as a standalone profession only in the 1930s? That's fairly recently. However, criticism of art, plays, music has been there for centuries, right from the days of Aristotle and beyond. This type of critiquing became an art form in itself. It was absolutely essential to have a critique because he or she made you think about something creative in a new light. The job of the critique is to experience something and share their thoughts on it, the good, the bad, and the unimpressive. They point us in a starting point to begin appreciating a work of art or a creative expression. Anything that can be interpreted in many different ways needs the role of a critique. Nowadays, the role of a critique has been taken over by thousands of blogs online. We can all become food critics or movie critics. The problem comes when these kinds of untrained critics do not understand the difference between critiquing and criticism. They believe that you have to point out a few flaws in everything, or else your job is not done. In our lives too, we face this problem. We stop trying to do things because we're so afraid of the criticism that we are going to get. There are 3 roots to this problem. The first is that our fear of criticism starts when we are growing up. Some families are overly critical. Everything is evaluated and a label is put on it. You are too fat, ugly, beautiful, good, bad, right, wrong. Growing up in such an environment stunts the way in which we show up in the world. If you are currently growing up in an environment like this, then please listen to this episode carefully. And if you are a parent making an environment like that, please learn to give feedback and not criticism. The second root is from our primal needs of society. As social animals, we believe that if we are not accepted by the society, we will die. And this was often true as cavemen, but not so true nowadays. Through our friends and through our schools, we have always felt that need to fit in. Being bullied or made fun of during these phases of our lives also creates a fear of being criticized. We feel the need to be invisible. The last root of the fear of criticism comes from, drumroll, social media. A place where you are criticized for doing everything. Everything you do is criticized. Everything you don't do is criticized. Everything you say is criticized. Everything you don't say is criticized. So many of us keep our profiles locked and hidden because we are scared of what people will say. The point is that we are so worried about what others will think about us that we don't do anything. The first thing to realize is that being criticized for something is not the end of the world. It no longer means death. Instead, you can think of it as feedback, like we discussed in our last episode. And as your habit coach, I want you to understand that your fear of criticism can be distilled down to one thought. Who are you trying to impress? You see, it boils down to this one idea. You are trying to impress someone. You're looking for praise. However, it is the fear of criticism that keeps you in check. Not attempting to make a change because you're afraid that you will fail at impressing them and will be criticized instead. The truth of the matter is that we cannot impress everyone in the world. There will always be people who do not get you, who will want to change you. Stop what you're doing. You need to learn to make these people irrelevant in your journey. Very often, I ask this question to someone. Their instant answer is that they want to impress everyone. And that is a losing strategy. Instead, ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Who am I trying to impress? So your simple habit to overcome this fear of criticism starts by asking, who are you trying to impress? Make this list as small as possible. Ideally, it should reach a stage where you're trying to impress no one. Slowly, start whittling everybody away from this list. You do what you do out of a pure desire to do it. The fear of criticism prevents you from reaching your goal, stops you from making that change in your life, all because you are worried about what others will think. Understand you are given one life. Live it to the max. Stop worrying about what others think. They are irrelevant. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
We would like to thank Storytel for sponsoring this show. Storytel is an audiobook platform that's available on your mobile, on your PC, wherever you'd like to listen to this. So what I'm going to recommend this week is a story that I first read when I was in school. It's Kabuliwala by Rabindranath Tagore. I, of course, read this in Hindi. It was part of my Hindi text. The original is in Bengali, but you know what Storytel has? It has an English translation of this story. And it's not just this story. There are a number of Rabindranath Tagore stories that they have. They have The Hungry Stones. They have The Solemn Vision. They have Forsake. Really, really good stuff. So, definitely go check it out. Get a bunch of Rabindranath Tagore books in your first month. And go and sign up at storytel.com/IVM and you'll be able to get your first month for just 99 rupees instead of $2.99. That's $200 off your first month. Go now.
Do you wonder what goes inside the mind of an achiever? How do they manage to get back up on their feet in spite of their failures? Do they really do something different? You're absolutely right. Yes, they do. I'm Aditi Surana. Join me every Wednesday and Friday on my show Absolutely Right, where I use my special tool of handwriting analysis, also known as graphology, to interview high performers and study secrets behind their success and personality. You can catch us on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you get your podcast from.